Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Balzer. I'm a Learning Delivery Specialist here at Microsoft for the state of New South Wales. And welcome to our session on tips and tricks with Office 365. Now, if you'd like to contact me, all of my contact details are right there on screen for you to enjoy. Now, first I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet today. Also would like to acknowledge the traditional roles of elders past and present and their future importance to Aboriginal Australia. Now, we have 30 minutes or less to get through this entire session, so it is going to be cognitive overload, but we're going to start off by navigating the Office 365 portal. Then we're going to move on to Microsoft Word and have a look at the new editor feature, the dictation feature, and the transcription services that are now available. We're going to jump on over to PowerPoint, look at Designer, link to slide, present live, and then also check out the amazing rehearsal coach. After that, we're going to swift our way over to Sway and look at Remix, create from topic, and then upload from a file. And lastly, have a look at the amazing AI features are built into Microsoft Forms. So, without any further delays, let's start the sessions. Now we're going to begin the demo session of our Office 365 tips and tricks experience. If you're a beginner or an advanced user, come along with me for the ride because in 25 minutes or less, I may just show you some sneaky little tips and tricks that you did not know about in terms of Office 365. So, let's get started. Now, the best place to start in terms of accessing your Office 365 apps is to go to the lovely office.com landing page, okay? And once you go to office.com, you have the ability to sign in. Now, there's two ways that you can do this. You can use your organizational account, which I'd highly recommend if they have an A3 or an A5 license, or you can use your personal account if you subscribe or your device comes with a license to Office 365. Now, I'm going to use my organizational account for this demo purpose today. And I'm just going to log in using my secure credentials. And this takes us to our lovely Office 365 landing page. Now you will notice mine may look a little bit different to yours. And this is where we're going to start. Now on the right hand side, you will see this lovely little setting cog. Okay, and this little cog allows us to customize our Office 365 experience landing page. So the first tip I'd love to show you is dark mode. If you're like me and you wake up in the morning and things are a little bit too blinding bright, feel free to toggle dark mode on. I find it to be a little bit easier on the eyes, and it also conserves battery life for your portable devices if you're trying to save as much juice as possible. You can also customize your landing ribbon across your Office 365 apps by using these lovely little display cards on the right hand side. So I'm going to go for the mountains today. I'm feeling very cool and fresh. I'm going to close our settings cog. Now, the second tip I'd love to show you is that Office 365 offers a hybrid number of experiences, both online and desktop application. So, to install your desktop app, just click on the right-hand Install Office button. And you can see here, you can install all of your Office 365 applications for offline use if you have a bad or poor internet connection, or you need more of that versatility of the editing and advanced functions that only comes with our desktop applications. However, if you would like to quickly access any of your Office 365 experiences through a web browser, maybe you're using a different computer, this is a fantastic place to access all of your applications for the web. So on the left-hand side here, you can see we have a number of different applications that we're going to talk about, as many as we can, in the small time that we have. We have Microsoft Word for the web, Excel for the web, PowerPoint for the web, OneDrive for the web, OneNote for the web, SharePoint, Teams, Sway, and the list goes on. Now your list may look a little bit different to mine because it will customize that depending on your most recent use. However, if you'd like to find more applications, just hover right down to the bottom here and you'll see an All Apps button. Now, by clicking that button, that will bring all of the Office 365 applications that are available to you and your account. Now, the experiences may differ depending on your tenancy, but here you can find some fantastic extra little sneaky apps that you may not know about. Things like Microsoft Stream if you're looking for a video service app, keep things secure, in-house, and confidential in terms of having an amazing transcript and transcribe teaching and learning experience. That's going to be the best place for you to store your videos. Maybe you've never played around with Microsoft Sway, which is our fantastic online presentation tool that keeps things simple but direct using the power of the web. Microsoft Teams to stay in communication and to collaborate with your fellow co-workers, or you might do some non-linguistic thinking and thinking with ink using Microsoft Whiteboard. So, time is of the essence, so let's start by going through some lovely tips and tricks using Microsoft Word. Now I'm going to click on Microsoft Word on the top left-hand pane here. And you will notice it takes me to my Microsoft Word landing page. Here, it has filtered out all of my Microsoft Word documents for me to access, okay? At the top, I can start a brand new document or start from a template. In the middle, I have an AI recommended Microsoft Word series of documents for me to continue working on. And then down the bottom, I have a list of all of my Microsoft Word documents that I have been accessing across a series of devices throughout my travels from a day-to-day basis. So everything is here in this universal spot, no matter what device you're working on. So I'm going to open up this very first one called the Amazon Rainforest. And you will notice without any installation, boom, I can access Microsoft Word for the web. So let's jump into some tips and tricks that you may not know about in terms of Microsoft Word. And the first thing I'd love to show you is the new editor feature, okay? Now, editor feature from Microsoft Word gives you an amazing summary on how professional, casual, or formal your Word document is based on your writing style. Now, I have a professional document right here, so I'm going to change this to formal because it is a piece on the Amazon Rainforest. And you can see here that my editor score is 90%. There are some improvements to be made here. Now, going down, I can have a look at a number of different things such as corrections, refinements, similarity, so I can check for online sources to see how similar a lot of the content is, text predictions, insights, and enhancements. The list just goes on to improve the overall professionalism of your document. Now, for example, if I click on spelling, you can see I have some words here that I need to go through and just adjust, okay? So approximately, for example, principle, for example. And as I adjust those words or correct those words, my editor score will slowly increase. I have a grammatical option here and a formality option. So if I go click on my grammatical option, you can see the word effect. I can change that to affect and my editor score will go up. We can also go down and check for online sources. So I can use the similarity checker and it will highlight certain sections of my word and show me where some of these lovely little phrases are coming from. And from that, I can add an in-text citation or also copy citation to the clipboard to include in a bibliography, for example. Definitely check out the amazing editor tool. It will give you some awesome statistics, some awesome functions and features to improve the overall conciseness of your document. Okay, the second thing I'd love to show you right at the top here is the new Designer tab. Now, Designer is an AI-powered editing tool that will allow you to add some very cool themes to your document for Word for the web. You may have seen Designer in PowerPoint before. We're bringing it to more Office 365 applications. So I've got this lovely Amazon Rainforest document. At the moment, it could do with a little bit of paint to make it look a bit more striking. So I can click some of these amazing designs and it'll actually change my document and its formatting based on the color scheme and the images that I actually have within the document. Okay, a very cool feature for you to go through and play with and explore. Now, we also have some amazing accessibility tools such as dictation. Now, if you haven't heard, we've improved our dictation experience across Office 365 to make it more robust and more refined. Now, I'm going to click the dictate symbol, okay, and give you a quick demo on how well the dictation works for Word for the web. Welcome to my dictation demo, comma. You will notice that it is picking this up with relative ease, even though I speak 1,000 miles an hour, full stop, new line. You will also notice, comma, that if I speak my grammatical options, comma, it will also add them into the document, full stop. Now you can see here that it's actually picked that up relatively well. And I'm finding I'm using dictation more and more for Office for the web across all of my applications. Definitely worth checking out the dictation tool, and you will find there's plenty of phrases that you can pronounce on the right hand side here to almost completely edit your document using the voice alone. Now, another amazing little feature that I'd love to show you is also under the dictate button. By clicking the drop down menu, you'll also see a transcribe button. And what this allows us to do is transcribe up to 300 audio minutes per month from an MP4 video file, an uploaded audio file, or also make a recording on the fly. We can take that transcription and insert it entirely into our document with speaker attribution and timestamps added. So let me demonstrate how this works. I want to upload a video file, an MP4 file, from a presentation I did recently to the SPC. Now, if I click open, you'll realize that it will transcribe that MP4 video file, then provide me a rich transcription to add to my document. We'll allow that to transcribe. Okay, now our transcription has finished and you can see it's actually displaying speaker attributions and timestamps on what I was saying within the video itself. Now I can hit play to listen to the MP4 video. Hey everybody, it's a pleasure to be here at the SPC annual conference. And you can see it's actually picked that up pretty good considering I speak so fast. We can also edit the transcription on the fly if it does get it inaccurate. Now I can click on the video file itself to look at the original video. Hey everybody, it's a pleasure to be here at the SPC annual conference. My name is Andrew Balzer. Now it's actually picked that up relatively well. Now if I click add to document, I have a few choices here. I can just add the text. I can add the text of speakers with timestamps or with speakers and timestamps. Now I'm going to add the entire transcription from that video into my Microsoft Word document, and it also has the link to the original video file itself. So make sure you do check out the amazing transcription feature. Okay, now we need to move on to another Office 365 application. We could stay here and spend hours going through the amazing features of Microsoft Word for the web or the desktop version of Microsoft Word. However, we do have to move on to other apps. Now I'm going to click on what I call the waffle icon in the top left-hand corner, and you can see I can jump between my Office 365 applications for the web on the fly. Let's jump on over to the amazing and the adorable Microsoft PowerPoint. And you can see here, just like in Microsoft Word, I'm in my very own landing pane for Microsoft PowerPoint that is filtered solely to access all of my PowerPoints at hand. Now, I'm going to open up a brand new PowerPoint for this demonstration. So you can see I can access all of my recent PowerPoints, just like I could do with Microsoft Word. But let's start a brand new Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Now, the first thing you will notice, it snaps PowerPoint Designer to the right-hand side. To help you get started, you might have some creative mind block for your creative processes. I love this one with the snow coming down, the very winter-esque theme, but I'm a geography teacher in this instance, and I'm teaching about the atmosphere. So I'm going to write the word clouds into my presentation. Now what PowerPoint Designer does is scan what you're particularly talking about or what your slide may be talking about and give you some associated suggestions on the right hand side there. It is quite fancy on how it works. So I'm going to select the clouds feature, and I love this opening video that's about the topic at hand. Now there are some amazing other little tips and tricks that you might not know about in terms of Microsoft PowerPoint. Let's just say, for example, I have a number of slides here, and you can see Presenter is bringing up some different ways to organize my content on the right-hand side, okay? But if I want to share maybe a particular slide with a colleague or a co-worker, I can right-click on one of these lovely presentation slides and then click this Link to Slide button. What that will do is generate a URL link that directs them straight to slide number 3 in that PowerPoint presentation. Gone are the days where you have to share the entire presentation and then somehow direct them to the 27th slide. We can link straight to the slide in question. Now, another amazing feature I'd love to demonstrate is the Present Live feature in Microsoft PowerPoint for the web. Very easy to access. By clicking on Slideshow, you'll see a button there that says Present Live. And by clicking the drop-down menu, you can present to people only in your organization or anyone that has the link or the associated QR code. If you speak a second language, or maybe your audience is reading in a second language, you can also change the subtitle language and the spoken language of your presentation. Now, what is Present Live? It's for users that are doing a presentation in-house and may have attendees sitting at the back of the room that may be hard of hearing, or maybe they speak English as a second language and you'd like a variation, a personalized variation of their closed captions. By clicking Present Live, it will turn your presentation into a portable presentation that they can boot up on their own personal devices. Now, if they have a QR code enabled smartphone, they can scan that and bring that up on their smartphone without having to download anything. However, if they have a PC, we can also load up the presentation by copying this into a new browser of choice. So I'm just going to copy this into a brand new browser, and you will notice this is what the attendees will see. The first thing that strikes out are the amazing closed captions that you can see on the right hand side. Now I can tailor that and select a number of different languages depending on my personal needs. So for example, I might be an attendee that speaks Italian. Just by clicking that button, it will change all of the amazing captions into my preferred language of choice. Now, from a presenter point of view, I can move across into my lovely slides and then present from there onwards. I can also have control over whether I turn my closed captions on or off. I can draw and annotate on the screen, but also bring up the joining code if anyone joins late. And from a user point of view, you can see exactly what they see. And a key point of Present Live is that they can always go back in time, but they can't go forward in time past your initial presentation. Now, when I want to end my presentation that I have here, I can just click the End Session. And from a user point of view, it will give you a rating that you can provide analytical and anecdotal feedback to the presenter. So I'm going to give my own presentation 5 stars, why not? And you can see here we can tailor the feedback so the presenter can improve their presentation experience moving forward. Submit. Now, another fantastic feature that I would love to show is the rehearsal coach. So if you're someone that is practicing on a PowerPoint slide or practicing your presentation abilities, you now have a built-in coach for Microsoft PowerPoint. By clicking the presenter coach, you can also enable body language feedback for your presentations. However, I'm currently using my video camera to record this session, so I'm not going to turn on body feedback. What it will do is take photos of your body gestures and your language and provide you real-time feedback on whether you're crossing your arms or maybe not looking at your audience. So let's have a look at Rehearse with Coach. Now, by clicking Rehearse with Coach, you can see down here that it brings up the PowerPoint Presenter Rehearsal Coach. And it's going to provide me some real-time feedback on how I'm doing with my presentation. So let's click Start Rehearsing. Now what I'm going to do is make some mistakes with my presenting. So I'm going to say things like ladies and gentlemen, or I'm going to say words like or and you will notice it pops up some real-time feedback in the bottom right-hand corner as I go through my presentation. So here's my lovely PowerPoint presentation. I want to move on to these lovely slides that I'm just rehearsing on. And if I start talking really slow, or maybe I start talking really fast, it's going to bring that up in terms of my summary feedback. So let's end my lovely session, okay? Escape from Presenter Coach here, all right? And you will notice it brings up my rehearsal report. And here I can gauge all sorts of analytical data from originality to pronunciation to repetitive language and to some fillers like the word that I did in my presentation to improve the overall speaking ability or presenting ability using Microsoft PowerPoint. A very cool tool and tip to have. Unfortunately though, we have to jump into a brand new Office 365 application because there's plenty of more tricks and tips for us to go down into. Okay. So again, we're going to go over to the left-hand side and click on the waffle, okay? And let's jump into Microsoft Sway, because Microsoft Sway is another fantastic presentation tool that you may just not know about. And just like all of our other Office 365 apps, here we are on the Office 365 landing page. Now, I can start again from a brand new blank Sway, but unfortunately we don't have the time to go through and build an amazing Sway. So let's start with a portfolio template. Now, Microsoft Sway is an online presentation tool where it has the concept of less is more. It's not as in-depth as PowerPoint, however, it is a great alternative to build some fantastic presentations for the web. And you can see here by using this portfolio tool these sways look absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to start editing this sway just by clicking the button, okay? And it allows me to customize and upload my content for the web using these lovely little cards that you can see on my screen here. Now, Sway is a very AI-enabled presentation tool. Now, what I mean by that is that, for example, I can go through and customize my Sway, change the styles, and it will give me suggestions based on the color themes of my presentation. I can also change my Sway so it's more like a traditional web page, up and down, more like a book that goes left or right, or maybe I want it to be more of like an online digital slide presentation. We have some fantastic themes that Sway will also do to kind of give you suggestions based on the color themes that you have. But my favorite is the remix button. That will basically remix your entire presentation, mix up the layout, the content, and the color scheme to give you a completely different look and feel for how you want your lovely message to come across. I absolutely love Sway. I could spend oodles of time in Sway to play around with. Now, there are a few things that you can do in Microsoft Sway. You can start a brand new Sway. You can start from a topic, or you can upload content from a document and then convert that into a digital presentation for the web. Let's just say, for example, we want to start from a topic. And let's say I'm studying the Titanic for modern history. I'm going to click Create Outline. And what that will do is it will ask me what I'm referring to specifically. RMS Titanic, the film Titanic, the sinking of the Titanic. Let's do RMS Titanic for this demonstration. Now, this will build an outline, a framework for my presentation. Now, it won't do it for me, however. It gives me kind of a guiding scaffold, a bit of a pathway for me to design a presentation for my audience. And it's also supplying some suggestions on what I might want to talk about. The dimensions and the layout, for example. The features. The building and prepping the ship aspects. And you can see it's actually also auto-generated and put in some lovely photos from the internet to help my presentation. Now, if I hit play, I can actually see what it's done for me so far. So it's given me some fantastic photos and some great core topics to talk about while I'm building my RMS Titanic presentation. Now, it won't do it for me. That's key, absolutely key. However, it will allow me to give that bit of a scaffolding help so I can see exactly how my presentation will play out in terms of the flow. Now, I absolutely love Sway. I find it to be a fantastic tool to make easily and accessible teaching and learning content for the web. Now, I'm going to basically edit my Sway, okay? And if I want to share my Sway with someone, all I have to do is click the share button, and I can just copy a link and then send my Titanic presentation to anyone that I want to witness it. I can also collaborate with someone on a presentation, okay? Or I can actually get a visual link for my Titanic presentation, which kind of generates a bit of a poster. Highly recommend that you have not checked out Sway, that you go and explore its amazing, robust set of features. But we have to keep jumping through our Office 365 tips and tricks trail by clicking our lovely waffle icon and then going to the next core feature that I'd love to talk about, which is Microsoft OneDrive. Now, here I am in my personal Microsoft OneDrive, or Microsoft OneDrive for Business, I should say. And there's a few things that you might not know about the amazing and lovely Microsoft OneDrive. The first that I'd love to show is the new Request Files feature. Now, if you're requesting files from a staff member, from a colleague, even from a student, you need somewhere for those files to be stored without having to mess around with uploading and them seeing all the other content that's already been uploaded. There's a brand new feature called Request Files, and it's as simple as this. So this folder that I have here for demo work, I'm going to select this folder, and at the top here you can see a button that says Request Files. This allows me to request a URL link that I can then share with my staff and colleagues or students that will allow them to upload their presentation without seeing anything else within that folder. So if I click Request Files, you can see here what files you're requesting. I would like to request homework. Okay, so anyone that I'm going to share this link for, it's going to tell them basically that I'm requesting files for homework. I'm going to click next, and then I can copy that link right there. Now, anyone with a link can upload files, and I can actually send this to particular people using their email address. Now, I'm going to say, please upload the homework that is due this week. Okay. And then if I click copy link and then click done, my file request was created. Now, what does that look like from an endpoint user view? So I'm going to paste our request link, and that will take them to this lovely page. And it's as simple as Andrew Balzer is requesting files for homework. Now you click select files. That'll allow you to upload a file that you are looking to submit. And then when you click upload, okay, it uploads the file without showing you anything within the root directory itself. It notifies me that someone has uploaded a file, and it just tells the user that the request was successful. Okay, let's jump again to our waffle. And now we're going to jump over to the lovely Microsoft Forms. I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks about the amazing Microsoft Forms. And just like PowerPoint and Word and Sway, here we are in our central hub for all of our Microsoft Forms. Now I'm going to open up one of these lovely Microsoft Forms, okay? And let's open up this expression of interest Western Sydney Airport Microsoft Form. Okay, and you can see here you can customize your forms to be extremely personal, change the themes within your forms, but you may not know about how smart Microsoft Forms can actually be. So let's actually make a brand new form by clicking New Quiz. Okay, and that's going to bring up a default blank Microsoft form. I'm going to call this the Maths Quiz because now I'm a maths teacher. And I'm going to write solve the following. Okay, I can select a lovely little image, okay, to insert with my Microsoft form. Something that's really going to get the idea that this is a mathematics quiz. And what Microsoft Forms actually has in it that you may not know about is the amazing AI built features. So let me show you a prime example. If I click Add New, I'm going to make a new multiple choice, okay? And I'm going to write solve the following. Now, we're doing mathematics around our times tables. Now, I could go down here and you will notice that there's a few multiple choice options that I can add. But if I click the three ellipses, I can turn on this math button, okay? That provides us with some additional options here. And what that allows us to do is bring up a latex keyboard or a mathematics keyboard and then enter my mathematical equations for the students to solve. So for example, 2 times 2, click OK. Now what Forms will do is scan the equation that I'm doing, select the correct answer for me, but also select some incorrect answers to make it a bit more varied. So I can add all of those following answers, 4, 9 or 1. It's automatically selected the correct answer, and I also add feedback or a message depending on what answer they selected. Now, I can add a brand new question, and what it's done is it's noticed that I'm doing a mathematics quiz on multiplication. So it's actually suggesting me some alternate questions without me having to build them from scratch, which I absolutely love in terms of time saving. So I would like to add all of these multiple choice questions in terms of multiplication. Click add all, and you can see just by clicking a few buttons, not only has it added a number of questions for my Microsoft form, but it's also auto graded them for me. Now this also works with some very generic alternative questions. Now I've just typed in what day of the week can we meet, for example, and it's actually suggested all the days within the week for me automatically. So you can actually see the AI-powered Microsoft Forms coming into play here. I encourage you to go and explore the amazing suite of apps in Office 365 and keep learning, keep exploring, and keep discovering the favorite little aspects of these apps that will increase your productivity. Unfortunately, I don't have any more time to continue showcasing some of the amazing features of Office 365, but hopefully you got some useful little tips and tricks on how you can make your teaching and learning space even more collaborative. And unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Now, if you'd like to learn and discover more, please visit some of these amazing websites. We have the Microsoft Docs website where you can find support material about some of those amazing products. We also have the Office 365 Training Center. We have the Office YouTube playlist with plenty of visual tutorials for you to follow along with. We have the teacher training packs for you to take away and deliver in your own teaching and learning environments. We have the Microsoft Australian blog and also product websites for any of the products that you've seen during this session. We also encourage you to go to the Microsoft Education Center if you'd like to follow a learning path or a self-directed course at your own pace. And again, thank you so much for joining this tips and tricks of Office 365 session, and we hope that we'll see you very soon in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.